Good morning, everybody. All right. Things are up here a little bit today. So, yesterday, our bias was for a trading range and possibly trading range, give or take, you know, testing the edges could be all week, but we'll see how it goes. Right now, markets are up a little bit. Inflation numbers are out, increase in inflation month over month. The others were kind of status quo. And yeah, I think just the markets at this point, unless there's something really, really um, out of the unusual, they're just going to continue to do what they do. And I think we would have to wait until after the options expiration to really get an idea of what's going on here. So far, nothing's changed. Uh, Acceleration out of the base, a little extended. We got a risk off signal from our internals up here. Markets have been trading sideways, correcting through time versus price. Yesterday, I mentioned about some software stocks that got clobbered pretty good. And we always mention that when we get a risk off signal, you often get some accidents. And so that has been happening, but overall, the markets are holding up quite well. I mean, yesterday was a go nowhere day. So we'll see whether this initial strength can continue. You can see the news here, and when it came out in the futures, and they whipped up and it kind of just settled right back down again. And we'll see how they unfold here. You know, so 60-minute chart. You know, clearing marginally clearing the top of the range. So continued strength, and of course we just see if it can hold on to the range, whether it can go sideways. So one of the things that we look for after a deep retracement and a wide range bar where things are whippy, right? Are they tight or are they whippy? Are they, uh, so erratic, wild, whippy price action displays some uncertainty. So you get a deep retracement up here, we want to see things tighten up. So what does that mean? That means that the bars, the ranges, they begin to contract in range up at resistance, implying that, well, that's resistance, there's enough demand to handle that, and would suggest it's going to go higher. So we have to wait for that. A little bottoming tail bar right there, right? That's what you want to see. As it dips down, it comes right back up again. And Qs, right, clearing the highs there with some authority. Semis are up, Nvidia's up, and they've been leading. They continue to lead. Let's look at SMHs for a second. Yeah, gapping up, clearing the highs. Look, things look great, getting a little more extended. And so just keep it in perspective. The further they get extended, the more the probability that they're going to pull back. The good thing is they can pull back sometimes a large amount and not violate the trend. But you don't want to get caught up there. You get caught up there, you'll be selling, the pullback where you want to be getting in. Studying it with honest time frames. Yeah. Do super simple. So, Brown, I'm just reading your comment there, the brownie, and you haven't been seeing you for a while there. And so he's saying, good morning, Greg and Dan. This is Norman Bates. What a name. I've been studying, and honestly, the concept of emptiness, you mean a void with different time frames, has changed my life. Changed my life too, Brownie. Honestly, what do you is super simple and perfect. You know what? A little, comment as to what Brownie is saying here. Many, many years ago, I took the path that we all do: technical analysis and support, resistance, got into the indicator-based methodology and all of that kind of stuff. And studying, why this trade worked, why that trade didn't work. And hundreds of trades later, it's like, excuse my language, holy shit. This is why it works and why it doesn't. There's a void. What the hell's a void? What do people trade on? Support and resistance. Well, if they can get past their trend lines and VWAPs and, fibs and all that other BS, it's like no one has anything to trade against, no to sell against, and to create that void, there had to be a price correction and a time correction, or it's at new all-time highs. And that's what allows prices to move with some freedom. So if there's a holy grail, that's it. Thank you for sharing, Brownie. Dan and I preach this. So preach, talk about it, empty lies, which we have one on Wednesday at 12 o'clock. But fighting this indicator-based mythology that everybody's hung up on is a difficult thing. There's the adage, you can lead the horse to water, but you can't make him drink. And that's the truth. So let me continue. All right. So things look great. Trends are up, getting more extended, and, trade your plan. Don't buy what's too high. So yesterday we talked about possibly lower high, lower low, whereas this here still underperforming, still may do that. The Dow was underperforming here, Dow futures. So possibly coming down into this area, if that's in the cards, would be where you want to enter. Russell 2000 futures here, consolidating. They cleared the 200. They look good. They're kind of a little sloppy here, but in an uptrend, they got room to go up. I think this is where if the market is going to play one market's going to play some catch up and it's going to outperform, this is it. So as markets become more and more confident about whatever it is, the economy, tariffs, or whatever, things begin to accelerate. More speculative stocks and sectors begin to outperform. And this is small caps, more speculative. And so as they begin to outperform, and how long can they outperform? I don't know, until they get to the next resistance area and they slow down. Just go with. All right. Transports. Transports look good. Wide range bar. Kind of like not exactly a textbook 1, 2, 3, 4, but little breakout, getting closer to resistance here. So you want to be cognizant of that. Interest rates, doing a lot of nothing. We've been talking for a while now about the wider trading range and the smaller trading range within that bigger trading range, and then it's in the middle of all of those trading ranges. And so in the green room yesterday, we had some discussion about the bond market and what it means and all that. So, besides trading, we do a lot of great conversations in the green room. So, consider joining us. Still displays uncertainty. So from a bigger picture, so to speak, meaning wide movements to smaller wild movements to it's getting tighter. Right? It's another concept of loose versus tight. Go read that on the blog, on the website. Loose versus tight. One of the concepts that'll guide you to when the spring is getting wound. So at this point, the belief about inflation, less inflation, whatever, the economy, so on and so forth, those wild beliefs, right, all over the place, are beginning to, meeting of the mind, so to speak, are beginning to come together. And so it's still in development. Thank you, Robert. Yeah. So, we have all of these concepts to help guide us. And what- what's the hardest thing in trading? Besides just you need to learn how to do some kind of thing of a plan, but the hardest thing in trading is overcoming ourselves, right? And applying even what we believe to be our own trading plan. Sounds crazy, but it's the truth. Gold, right? Sideways, starting to tighten up, right? Down here. So I thought it was going to go up yesterday. I took a short-term trade in the morning. It didn't work out, got stopped out. Not a big deal. So sometimes, you test the waters. That was from an intraday trade. But anyway, so this is kind of in the middle of no man's land. Right? Big trading range tightening up. Silver, right, broke out. Look to get on board here. Looks good. Oil, right? Wild move down, stabilization. Things are kind of find their own here. See the 65-minute down on support, jiggling around here. I don't know which way it's going to go, but you can see the way it moved down. It would suggest lower, but just wait and see what it does. And let's see what else we look here. We looked at SMHs. Again, mid caps. They're getting close to resistance, but mid caps. This is one of the themes of this market of just narrow breadth versus expanding breadth, and seeing the Russell begin to bring up the rear, and transports and the mid caps and so on. So, this is another positive. That's the SPX. Right? Spiders gapping up to the top of the range. And you can see on the 65-minute actually clearing the top of the range, which would infer they're going to go higher. So failures because of options expiration are certainly something to be considered. We don't know what's going to happen. So if you have a setup that says do something, do it. Maybe smaller share size, or that consideration because of options expiration. But this clearing the top of the range and consolidating here as it is so far would, out of this little consolidation would suggest it's going to go up, which would mean, right, the furthest you can get away from where it is to the downside should be a no-brainer put spread. And here are the numbers. So do the numbers make sense? Right? It's gapping above here. So this strike is down near yesterday's low. It should not go down near yesterday's low. It's above 6,200. But it's below 6,250. So this is something you could do near, give it 5 minutes or what have you. Can it get up there today? Well, yes, but what we covered yesterday morning, 6,300 is the largest open interest expiring this week. So that tends to be a ceiling. Now, if it consolidates there, usually with these big open interests, if they can consolidate at a whole number, something with big open interest, and it consolidates there for a half hour, that typically means it's going to keep going higher. But you got to wait for it to actually do that. But 6,300 is going to be a level to be aware of, and may stop it and knock it back down again. So we'll just have to see the reaction. So far, it's holding up in that area pretty well. But going back down to the lows, probably not going to happen. I'm just looking at any economic reports coming out. There's a couple of Fed guys speaking in the middle of the day. Actually, 3 of them to be aware. 4, well, the ones at nighttime. But, well, some guy's talking right now. Bowman, whatever he's saying. And the other 2 guys are in the middle of the day. So there you have it, you know. Let's see what today unfolds. And yeah, all the best today. All yours, Dan.
Good morning. Earnings season started for us. Uh, Chart on. Alarm, like always, first. And look at this tossed. I'm watching this for a while. It's been very, very crazy, but it's bullish weekly, monthly. I'm gonna keep an eye on this. FSK alarm. I think, Sam, that might have been on your list. Bango. Oh, that's an earnings. No, was that earnings? Yeah, that's earnings. Okay, that's one I sold $7.50 puts. Can you believe there was premium down here? I got 20 cents to a 20 lot. But the drill in doing that, you're just betting that you're not gonna get a big gap against you. But I'll come back to earnings. On SMCI, we are long this, so I move stop to break even. D-Dog alarm. That was an early alarm. The anchor is yesterday's high. For directional. Lily. That was a put spread yesterday. If you got filled, Arc B. Gapping down a little. We're long this in the ETF letter Bitcoin. And look, we sold a third pre-market right here. Look at that, pretty darn near the high of that move. But only a third. Soon as a buy setup, reversal. Babay, same. This one though, it's a little bit of a square top. SMCI, no, let's go to earnings now. So mostly banks, and they're net down here. The market's holding incredibly well with banks. I think it's on the back of semis are flying. The news is Trump's going to let Nvidia and some others sell some chips to China. So look at that gap into an all-time high. That's still not an exhaustion gap, but it's surely not a pattern I'd be buying. Incredible run. Look at that. This in retrospect was an igniting gap. Crazy strong. If it was 4 trillion the other day, I wonder what it is on the market opening here. Because that's a monster gap for a $4 trillion company. All right, thanks here. Earnings. This is one I shorted the 45 puts. We're down here at the 50 MA. So I'm just bidding a nickel to get out. SLP is a piece of garbage. I said yesterday, this one I didn't have a bias. Is it going to be a continuation in a downtrend? And it's horrible, daily, weekly, monthly. Or was it going to have a shock gap up? Now it's gapping down 250. Just looks horrible. JP turned green. It was red a little bit ago. And they blew away numbers, and it's relatively flat. Yeah, we just looked for again gapping all-time highs. WFC 81. So that's a call spread idea. If it can't bounce, give it maybe like 10 minutes. BlackRock. I shorted a call spread $100 away. Doesn't mean it can't get there, but things that run like this into earnings far from the 20, every time I'll take the, so I'm a betting man, I'll take the fade. So I sold it for 250. I'm just bidding a dime to get out. Citigroup positive. That's a bullish run and it's going higher. Look at that, these things all-time highs. It looks like, man. BK getting down a little, but no good pattern. This actually was the least extended one. That was a closing breakout from consolidation that's close to the 20. We'll come back to it, maybe if we can 30-minute high, see what it looks like. 104, so bearish gap, call spread idea. Ericsson gapping down, looks bad. So that's not a good gap and snap candidate. That's still bad. I'm just gonna delete you. Ango, that's the one, nice turn here at the 200. So I sold the 7.5 puts I told you on that. I'm bidding a penny. I don't even know. Maybe they have 5-cent increments and I won't get to them. And finally, ACI gapping down. That's a pretty big gap for a grocery store. You would think would be stable, but no pattern. I got no interest in that. Oh, Sam, your Alpha Sierra up alarm, closing breakout. Like maybe 30-minute high on that. These are all just miscellaneous now. Let's just see what we got here. NFE. I also sold puts on that yesterday, the 350s. But it's a bottoming pattern, 1, 2, 3. So it's actually a directional watch. I think out of $5. 5.25. That'd be a huge return. Soon, when I mentioned, you could it's gapping over yesterday's high. Watch that on a little pullback. Looks good. Put that in the window. Actually, I'll just put it down here. SMTC. Full rectangle. BMNR. Wow, this thing's been all over the place. I would never myself trade a pattern, a volatile animal like this, but many times you can get a beautiful day trade setups. I have enough to watch them. XAGE, that's an igniting gap, but too big. Reddit, what's red idea? Maybe 30-minute high. Oklo. Oh, we bought this yesterday. It's one of these energy stocks. Yeah, there was a lot of news on energy. Apple is investing. Someone's investing in, I don't know, something with Curve that's gapping up. I think Apple said they're going to be buying power from MP. And I think they were doing a deal with the government over here on this gap up. No pattern. So yeah, the Aqua was good. And what's the other one we did yesterday? What is it? S something or other. I think I sold puts on it. Look, starts with an S. I did not get filled. It's not in my positions. All right, semis we said are flying as a NVIDIA here. Nothing to do, AMD. we were talking about this on the turn. ASPS. There's no volume. Is that the right symbol, Neil? Look, whenever you see a spotty 15-minute chart, I immediately look down the volume. And it's too far from the 20. So I like, okay, I was gonna say I like Soon better and Babet. Yeah, no, this was on our list yesterday also. Yeah, looks great. Yeah. A little bit of a square top here. It's going to be your target, so it's not a huge target. I would prefer a put spread, but that's worth watching. Okay, yeah, Greg's going to be speaking with what Sierra Bravo we found by accident yesterday. But look at the weekly monthly. I love Sierra Bravo. That's a beautiful inverse head and shoulder bottoming pattern. Last week I did yes. Yeah, Browning. So I mean, last week I did a lecture on bottoming patterns, and this could have been an exhibit in there. I mean, it's beautiful bottom. That's an inverse head and shoulder. In fact, I'll grab a picture of that later and put it in our inverse head and shoulder MT Live file. Browning's asking about APLD. When do you think time to buy? We use the term turn. And so it hasn't made a turn on the daily, but now you're saying intraday time frame. Okay, intraday. Then I'm just looking at intraday charts. So 15-minute is in an uptrend. So it gapped up and it's stabilizing here. So maybe 5, 10, 15-minute high would be your intraday. Stop pre-market low. Pins alarm. Pins alarm. Okay, see, I had an alarm at 3640. So pins. If this can go sideways for 30 minutes, which it looks like it may not wait for us. I was gonna say that would be a beautiful 30-minute high trade, but it looks like it's moving right now. All right, I'll soon here. Let me get, I don't need Sierra Bravo. Let me put pins here. Pins looks good, but I don't like trading the first 5 minutes. So let's maybe 5-minute high. Whiskey Bravo alarm. This is one I bought yesterday. I bought yesterday at 980. Nice gap up. Breakout daily, weekly. Whiskey Bravo. And long. I mean, it's in an uptrend, it's strong, semis are strong, but you're trading into a big old gap on the SMHs. Well, it actually doesn't look as big on this time frame now. I personally would just let it settle down a little bit. But that's me. Whiskey Bravo, nice. I just sold some though in the strength. Target up alarm. We've been in this for a while. It's kind of been a dead animal. Our Alpha Golf low alarm. That's silver. I see the GDX sector new low. Where did I get the low? Oh, I got filled on my BlackRock for 10 cents. Nice. Uh, so that BlackRock, um, I did a $10 Y, but I sold it for $2.50. That was very nice credit. My FBK, I'm bidding a nickel to get out. No fill yet. It's 5 cents by 20. 5 pins is holding soon. Bottom right got a little. That's coming in hard, so I would hold off on that. Babay. Let's wait for 5-minute high. Oh, VNet, I forgot to talk about. We had long calls on this yesterday on the gap fill. And so what I did with this big old gap up, we shorted the stock at 920 pre-market. And so that hedged our long calls. And we talk about that sometimes when you are have option long calls or puts pre-market, you're getting a big gap. And people ask, well, how the heck do I take partial profits? Answer, you hedge with stock. So I need to set up coaching here, and I'll start. I like grabbing real examples to do quizzes, and so I'll grab that one. So now my position is long call, short stock, and I also have short puts for Friday. I shorted $8 puts for Friday, which I'm gonna bid a nickel and close. FBK, I'm gonna raise it to a dime. Cause it's whipping around. All right, so out of my FBK. Here, I'll give you the actual post here. I posted it early. I guess you weren't there, but read that. XLY coming in hard. I have a covered call, so I'm not adding, but I'm still in a covered call. So tell me if you have any questions on that post. It's, simple. When you're long calls, you have the right to buy stock at the strike price on or before expiration. So we have the right to buy it at $8, and now I'm short stock. So I'm hedged. It's Whiskey Bravo. Nice breakout, daily, weekly. Our other alarms, BTU, low alarm. That was a bottoming pattern. Yeah, I have a covered call on that. And go. Oh, that came in hard. Let's see. I was bidding a penny to get out. Yeah, see, the problem is I hate when they don't have penny increments. I don't feel like I'm paying 5 cents. But I'd pay 2 cents. That's so
That's being
stupid.
cheap, yeah. The
But-
3 cents.
I know, but it's a 7.5 puts, so you multiply that times 20 contracts, 2,000 shares, and it's, it's a couple of donuts and drinks.
Okay.
But sometimes you do get filled. I just got to increase it a penny or so. So I
Eh,
didn't get filled at 2. Let me try 3. There, I got filled at 3.
There you go. I thought the Dow or YM was going to be, got out of that trading range to go long and just whip right back down into the range. It's just, I think this options expiration is just, hedges and whatever, just holding it in place. But we'll see. Everything came in. And go for the gap fill, but
NFE. Doing nothing. I got my alarm out.
article about myself. Miami Herald, Alex. I'm not a subscriber. They wrote about me. Are you joking?
Send it to us. Wow. Without you knowing.
I'm not running for commissioner or anything like that. Where in the past they did. There is a new Superman in the city. Well, it's not me. Uh-huh. Alex, CRCL. It's trading inside of yesterday's green bar, but it's a retest in a 180. It's coming up. Just a FYI, keep an eye. Anybody, of course. Well, it's got work to do, of course. So yesterday reversed Friday's bar, and it's got that little congestion to the left. So like I said, it's got some work to do, but if it gets ready, probably gonna fly. I think because it was month over month, that was a higher inflation number, and the other year over year was flat. I don't have my charts up at the moment. I'll put them up. When I put my charts up, that's what they see on social media. So if Dan is speaking about something, they won't see it unless I switch to that. But I will put it up for you guys. So these here with the gray are pre-market. You'll see they all opened up, whipped down, coming into the gap fill here. These small charts are the 65-minute, which today don't tell us much of a different story.
Very good.
Financials fell like a rock. There's a
Yeah,
lot of
well, the red,
jiggles going on here.
AD line slightly negative. Silk J coming in silver.
If GAH, I don't know, Alex. I mean, it's got that double top. It's more of a call spread pattern than a directional. Um, I know what you're looking at. So if it breaks this low, I yeah, it breaks yesterday's low. You know, 160. Let's see if there's a big open interest in puts there. Sure, it's the biggest open interest in puts. And that don't mean it won't go through it. It just means it'll stall there. Not loving it.
FMCI going well.
Diamonds at the back down to the range, bottom of the trading range. My WM's on some support here. SOH for me for now.
Hey, NXT is doing, making the turn. Well, yesterday I said I hope for a bottoming tail, but turning here at the 20, see how it closes. Oh, I just saw what you typed. Yeah, my alarm went off. All right, so 5-minute high on this would be 7:11.
Dan, didn't you have an open trade on SMCI?
Yeah, I just posted it.
Oh, that was a new trade. Okay.
Man, look what I just typed. I moved the stuff. Stuffs.
Uh, if it's a directional, I don't see it in the tracking sheet.
I did. In my setup tab, you're saying it's not in the view
Oh,
sheet?
I'm sorry. It is like the commentary is longer than the other, so the symbol was at the lower part. Yeah, I got it. I got it.
Mhm.
Yeah, Brownie. This is an open trade. From if you're looking at my charts, which I guess you are, from this consolidation right here. Weekly. Yeah, the weekly has void. Yeah, it's got room. You see the daily here.
Absolutely, it does. Like
Yeah.
57, 58.
The weekly and daily are aligned, so to speak, meaning as far as anything to the left because of the way this came down. So you see the daily chart, you know, power, consolidation, continuation, consolidation,
This
moving up again.
TMC, nice multi-week consolidation. And this could be a 30-minute high. Although I'd like it better tomorrow over today's high. Marcus, we did money off of, but no reason to get out. the T-Tech from yesterday. It's right there at the 200, but the weekly has nothing. Yeah, this thing, I mean, this. Oh, I got a put spread in this. For Friday, 43 and a half. Yeah, good. That's LX low alarm. We're in this in the ETF letter, but just because of all my opens that I had from yesterday, I'm up over 600 bucks. So I'm just going through taking profits on some of them. XLY down a little bit, but covered call, so I'll hold it. Yeah, I've done a lot of trimming here. I'm back to low inventory. VNet, new low. So excellent management of that by shorting stock. Did you all see how we did that? You see that, Greg? We were long calls and we shorted the stock at 9:20 this morning. $7-Eleven, is that a retail store? Yeah, it's a convenience store. It's a chain worldwide. 7-Eleven. They even have them all over Europe. Sweden. I was in Sweden. I walked into a 7-Eleven. Going back up. Bull put, no way, not me. Yeah, I was asking the other day up to if the sale went through because I knew that yeah, I knew they were trying to get bought out. It's just not a high probability. I mean I see these are two nice bars here, but you had a breakout failure, made a new low. And I just think you can find better like pins. Let's see if pins has any premium for Friday. 35s. $0.07 is all. Oh, look at Netflix. Oh, daily it's not as bad, but 15-minute. It's been on a wild ride today. What about our AMZoo? AMZoo, we can buy the back half over the high. 39.10. AMZoo. Oh, my bad. We did half until the close yesterday. So ignore that. But if you're not in it, you can do it. Yields are rising, tick low of the day. Market slow of the day. Gold and silver coming in. There's that AG. We have a partial on. Yeah, there's CCO. That'd be nice. Little correction bar. looking around, but nice little 1, 2, 3 if it closes like this. That's CR we know about. SPR and little grinder. That's it. Those are all the opens. Advisory. We're Amazon, we're at our target.